Timestamp December 16th, 2025, 10 after 5 p.m. I'm gonna take a couple dogs out real quick. Hi guys, what's on your mind? Yeah, I can't open the door with your paws actually on the door handle. Come on, Tanner. Thank you. Pix just left, so she's gonna be fighting 5 o'clock traffic going home, which apparently, because of the route that she has to take, or even the choice of routes, is better than going home at 3 because of school pickup. She's learned that the hard way, which I wouldn't think that would be a thing, but I know that school pickup lines can sometimes jam traffic to a halt. And we ran into that back when Alex was going to a school back in Tampa. It's a 4-lane road, but definite roadblock issue going on there. It was many years ago. Today's junk mail. Always some of that. So I went to do that. Yeah. So my dad, went to the hospital the other day. And when he got back to the facility, we think, left his shoes at the hospital. Don't even know. So we went to Walmart and got some really nice house slippers, furry on the inside, whatnot. And we went and saw my dad. We were there probably about 30 minutes. He actually mostly knew who we were. But on 3 occasions in the conversation, he wanted to know either why Mom wasn't with us, or if we were there to take him home, and if Mom was waiting, or if she had moved out, or... So on 3 separate occasions in 30 minutes, we had the delight, the joy of telling my dad that Mom was dead. And he'd cry for 30 seconds or a minute and then pull out of it as though nothing happened, and we were on to a new subject. Not only does it hurt doing that, but at the same time, the extent to which his brain is breaking in that respect. It's just mind-blowing. No pun intended. My dad really looks old. It's like he's aged 10 years in the past month or 2. He's got all of his stuff in 3 big shopping bags. He kept pulling them out of the closet in his room and, saying, okay, well, I got all my stuff here, he's ready to leave. And my wife and I kept reminding him that we're waiting for a placement with the VA, but the judge says you have to stay here for the moment. He's like, I don't understand. It's like, well, your house is too messed up. You're not allowed to come home because it's unsafe. It's like the best we can come up with to try and make him understand. He's like, what's wrong with my house? I'm like, well, remember the hurricane ripped the lanai ceiling out, and you've got big messes there because you guys are hoarders. Yeah, there's some stuff there. No, there's a lot of stuff there, Dad. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, we're having to clean it. We have to clean it. Is Mom there? Is she helping you guys, or? You see where this is going, right? It's funny, on the way back, we stopped at a 7-Eleven or a Circle K or whatever to get some gas, just to make sure I try and keep Pix's tank above half at all times. We've learned that the hard way living in Florida with hurricanes and stuff like that. When it hits half, we got the mindset of, the E light just came on. It's kind of the way we try and run things. So I put in the $20 worth, and replacing the nozzle, and they've got the little screen, it blasts advertisements at you while you pump gas. And the ad shuts off and it goes to like a blue screen with writing, and it said limit reached. Kind of made me chuckle. I'm still chuckling about it. Because I know that's not the context of what they were getting at, but that's about how I feel. Limit reached, indeed. There's a dog behind me. That was interesting. Sounds going on behind the pile over there. I have a dog right behind me. Which, looking down, kind of down the wall, I don't think that was my dog making that noise. Which begs the question, what else is back there? Stop by Aldi. Some basic grocery stuff. Fix whipped up a improvised meal when we got here anyway. Alright guys, let's get cooked. It was a good idea. We're both a sucker for good bagels. They had Hawaiian bagels. So we got a pack of those. Some I used to get these when I was a kid. Tyson made them. This is a different brand than Aldi's. All their brands are kind of house brand. There you go. Take it and go. We're doing some of the beef jerky. The Walmart. Yeah, I see you. There you go. Uh-oh, I have a jinx. Funniest damn thing. You're a smart one, Mr. Jinx. Okay, be cool, Tanner. I moved my foot. Hey, Hex, you done being a jerk? I have yet begun to be a jerk? Okay. So we got some of the... I kind of grew up on these. And I think Pix did too. Pix came from a poorer family, so I think it was more of like a every now and then treat. But just a breaded chicken breast patty I know growing up it was like Banquet and Tyson, I think, that had them. We love those damn things. But the Hawaiian bagels with that, pack of Swiss cheese, and I already had some raspberry jam. Made kind of a croissant-y, Monte Cristo kind of thing. That was pretty damn good. And it was funny because she was like, "Do you want 2 or 1?" I'm like, I'm hungry, and as such, I would normally say 2, but I don't know if I have the stomach for it right now. And she's like, "That's why I asked. I thought maybe." Yeah, that's my brain right now too. His brain is so broken. Dementia's mean. I joke about some stuff here and there, and some of it is pretty funny. Some of just the crazy shit I've seen my dad do, whatnot, but then I spend 20 minutes with him and just two years ago I was constantly mad at him. I mean, I kept it to myself. I didn't lash out at him. I'm not mad at him. You know? I don't have it inside me to be mad at him. What's going on is not his fault. For the sake of his own dignity, I'm not going to film him. Scrappy knows I'm upset. On a segue. Janus is now loose. We have a tripod cat on the loose. The crate is closed. And we still need to pull it out, clean it, and all that because it's pretty. Currently, he is, I think, in the living room hiding under the debris under a coffee table. There was much loving, and Scrappy was power grooming him, and then Hex came along, and he sniffed each other, and then Hex tackled him, and there was the whole submit to me, I run the place kind of thing going on, and this is a cat thing. You just kind of got to let them work it out, because they will. I mean, they were being all buddy-buddy when he was in the crate, and I wondered, how it was going to play out once they were actually face-to-face without, metal bars. There's some domination, pride kind of negotiations happening currently, so we'll see how that plays out. Tired. That's why I asked Hex earlier if he was done being a jerk. Because he was being a jerk. And he was holding Janus down tight enough to where Janus was actually you could hear the I'm not enjoying this. I felt bad, and then again, I didn't. I was already rinsing my coffee mug anyway. Actually, it sounds good. I put just a little bit of water, not like, a whole mug or anything, just a little bit of water, and kind of on top. Hex, it ran down his back, and that was enough to make Hex like disengage, because he had been holding Janus down for like 3-4 minutes, same position. Janus letting out little whimpers, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to let you guys work it out, but I'm afraid you're going to wind up putting him back in the infirmary. He's been out of the infirmary less than an hour, kid. Enough. And I'm like, tapping him on the head, like, let go, let go, let go, and he's ignoring me completely, so. Yay. As much as Janus was, like, all up in my business, Tiny's business, because I sleep in the living room on the couch, I'm wondering if, and I don't know this, but it's just kind of I wonder if I'm going to take my nap here very shortly, and I'm going to wake up with, like, Janus, like, sprawled all across me or something. He might be a sleep with you cat. That could be interesting. Haven't had one of those in a while. Hex has slept with me a couple of nights over the past, like, month. But I'm not convinced it's not the Doctor Who on the screen. I think it might just be good stadium seating for Patrick Troughton. And on a ironic and humorous note, the other day, he came in and was on the couch with me. I was sitting sorting something, and I was about to get like, whoa, because it was Colin Baker. It was Sixth Doctor. I'm like thinking to myself, damn, you're in here and it's Colin Baker. And then I realized that the episode that was on is an episode, if you don't know, you don't know, an episode called The Two Doctors, which is actually number 6, Colin Baker, and number 2, Patrick Troughton. They did a crossover with those two. So I'm like, it's as much a Patrick Troughton episode as it is a Colin Baker episode. It's in color, but it's still your Doctor. That was, I think, like one of the last things he did before he passed. I remember seeing that episode at a Doctor Who convention when Colin Baker was still kind of the new Doctor. He was the current Doctor. And I met Colin Baker, who is still around. I met Peter Davison at a prior WhoCon, who is also still around, and David Tennant's father-in-law. That household's got to be kind of crazy and fun. But yeah, I remember that episode is the one they played at that convention. It was like, because it was hard to get stuff from the BBC over here in the States. Doctor Who was kind of hit or miss. There were a couple of TV stations. I've talked to people, around the country, and they're like, I had one station that would occasionally get Doctor Who in, or, they would play, nothing but John Pertwee and Tom Baker. That's all we ever got. We never got anything past, because they charged a lot of money to show it here in the States back then. The streaming and the internet, that not a thing. Didn't exist, You might be able to find a bootleg VHS of one episode. True story. We got Seeds of Doom, man. It's Tom Baker and Sarah Jane. It's a good one, but, you'd see the single episode VHSs floating around. It's a different era. But yeah, so he was watching a Colin Baker episode that is also pretty much starring Patrick Troughton. So I'm not sure how to label that. It goes along with my theory that he likes Patrick Troughton, though. But maybe not just black and white. Or maybe the sound of Patrick Troughton's voice was enough to make him stick around because he knew that was his guy. I don't know. And maybe I'm reading too much into all this. I don't know. In the words of Jeffrey Rush, it's a mystery. Ooh. I don't know if that pop came through on the speaker or not. That was my thigh. Might buy hip connection. Can I get through? Thanks. Actually, park it over here. We went through a bunch of the mini brand stuff. Divvied up what would work. I had split up what I got into books, toys, food, and HBC. And she apparently already knew. She's more up on the mini brands, like as a toy line in general, than I am. But she was like, because I warned her, I'm like, the HBC, it's going to be too big for your guys too. She was like, yeah, I already know that. I looked it up, and the scale kind of scares me. I kept a few here and there, but a lot of the HBC we're going to be rotating through and reselling, which is fine. But she's still got some usable pieces, and I got a couple here and there. Most of them, though, the scales are really huge. I think I showed you guys some of that the other day. Yeah, you were being a jerk earlier. You got food, don't even give me that look. The mixer doesn't have a case. Don't give me that face. But yeah, these are the, yeah. And these are some of the ones we're going to be selling. I've got a whole bunch to sell, which is a good problem to have. That was the whole purpose. I buy something for $50. We pull out what we want, and then I resell it. And when everything's said and done, I make $50 or more, you know. Like, this is some of the toys that I'm going to be flipping and reselling. These are pretty damn cool. But the different lots, we got like 6 or 7 of this. So, this is Chippy's. I mean, it's not actually a remote control dog. It's a replica of the toy of a remote control dog. Because D84 is always on hand to be a model for me. You know, so if the little robot dog was about the size of a human head, which, you know, they do make little remote control toys that big. You know, this could go in a toy shop diorama with like 6-inch figures. D4 Bulls. Love him. But when she had a Draculaura, and we were using them as scale comparisons just to... It's one thing to know the numbers, it's another thing to actually see it next to it and go, will that work? You know what I mean? Like, and I got my A-Wing pilot over here, which is a good 4-inch figure. It's huge. Huge. But, again, it'll work for 6-inch for me. And for her with the, because the Monster High dolls are pretty much like 11-inch scale. I got stuff falling everywhere. Hicks kept pushing things and like knocking over huge amounts of stuff on my side of the bar here. But there's a lot of stuff in here that will work. These are pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Basically, this is the Zuru brand or whatever. I've actually stocked these at a couple different places that I've worked. It's like a offshoot of Nerf. You know, like a different brand of the same concept. You know, shoot the little foam darts. That's pretty damn cool. And you could actually pull it out of the package and, you know, put the actual toy in the hand of a figure or doll. This works, but, you know, I think I kept like 2 or 3 of the Nerfs. like several different sizes, but I don't need, all 7 or all 12 or whatever. And I think one of the lots had like 10 hula hoops in it. I've got most of them in here. I'm keeping like 4 or 5. Yeah, I mean, the detail on this is really cool, because this would work for 4-inch figures. 6-inch kind of not. It's even got like a little tag with a little barcode. I mean, that barcode is as big as a pencil lead. Ballpoint pen for comparison. This is crazy. The detail on these is just really, really neat. Robo Alive. It's like a robot remote control snake. And again, I already kept a couple of them because they'll work scale-wise for the 6-inch and even the 4-inch kinda. So, Frisbee. It's even got, the back of it even has like instructions on how Frisbees work, how you should throw them, etc. Just really, in the words of Sondheim, crazy cool. With board games and dollhouse stuff. And these are even way too big for the 11-inch. Got like 10 of those. But I'll be breaking this out into... The way I'm probably going to do it is I'm going to break it out into a lot... Oop, I forgot the Robo-Dog. Over here, Chippy. Break them out into like lots of 10 or 15 that aren't doubles. Try and sell it for like $10 plus ship. I've got 8 or 10 lots right there, There's another bag, same size, different toys in it. We had a big pile on the bar and we were going through it. Exactly. That's all the candy stuff. The scale on that's huge. Huge. Yeah, here's some more of the toys. Rainbow corns and Dino Smashers. I kept a couple of those. Rubik's Cubes. Some Crayola markers. Some 64 packs in there. It's just really cool. Really, really cool product line. So, admittedly, with all the different lots that I picked up, because I bought a lot of lots, I probably spent between $200 and $300. And when I flip this stuff, I'm probably going to make $300 to $500 sales. So I'll probably make $100, $200 profit, and we're getting a lot of cool toys out of it. That's how I do it. Went to the post office, sent out 3. Uno, dos, tres, yeah. 3. Had a Star Wars Micro Machines lot, a Scooby-Doo lot, and a Doctor Who lot. I sold my Tom Baker and Davros, which I knew that lot was going to sell. Sold a lot with 3 Scooby figures, not 3 Scoobies, but like Fred, I think it was Fred, Velma, and Shaggy, and a Beast Bottomless Lake. And the Micro Machine lot was 2 of the Red Swoops. It's like a little air speeder. And I had a couple other ones that I sent out yesterday. Doing pretty good on the business side. Like it more if I was selling 10 things a day, but I'm selling 1 to 3 things a day consistently, so that's good. I can keep the gravy flowing. What are you doing? Scrappy was like investigating the trash can, like, I might want to get in here. No, you really don't. You will get in trouble, sir. I think that's the Aldi breakfast blend. It's good. I just killed the pot. I'm not sure what Tiny made earlier. I think it's the Aldi breakfast blend. In my Six Flags Marvin. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. My brain, I'm just... wait to correspond with Pix, make sure she gets in okay, and then I'm probably going to take a nap. And I got up at like midnight, 1 o'clock, so... had some good time with my girl today. But needed to get shoes to my dad and also just visit with him, see where he was, because he fell. I didn't see any marks on him, which is interesting. Apparently he bumped his head, and his head hurt and his back hurt. I don't know where he bumped his head because I didn't see any bruising or whatnot. The last time he did it, like 3 weeks before, he had a nice shiner right over here, which I've had bruising there before. Usually it was, but I don't think, as ornery as he could be, I don't think one of the nurses punched him. Probably not. He can be lippy though. I don't know. And it didn't look like a shoe print, so I don't think one of the mamacitas did the thing. I forget what those sandals are called, but they can be vicious. And my girl's not Latin, but she somehow in the South, through osmosis, picked up that ability. If she throws her shoe at you, you're getting hit. It's terrifying. Oh, looking over, Pix picked up a whole bunch of flowers on clearance. They had a whole bunch of fall flowers. We got all kinds of like sunflowers and stuff. They were like 90 cents. Nice full bunches too. Not just like, one sunflower. It's like sunflowers. Can I get up? Thanks. But we were going through the toy section. And I really want to be able to sit down. Thanks. We were going through the toy section. Because, of course we were. And I saw this dangling off of like the top of the doll box. And I was pretty sure I knew what it was, so I pulled it down. It was a Halloween plush that because they clearance all their Halloween stuff, but this was, I think, hiding behind other stuff. There was a guy stalking there, he had one of the little scanners, and I'm like, I know you guys don't have the scanners, and I didn't even get it out of my mouth, and he was like, beep, $1. I'm like, fine. Because I think these were like 10 when they had them, in season. It says, no, it does not. But when we saw them back at Halloween time, I was debating on getting one. They had green, orange, and I think purple. And I was like, I kind of like it. I don't want to spend 10. So I spent $1. He's very handsome. I couldn't help myself. I'm a sucker for cool plush. Damn gnats, man. I think I got him. Did I? Ooh, I did. Sorry. Okay. Pix and I were both having like panic and anxiety attacks the whole way home after dealing with my dad. Yeah. I did good on the shoe size. He liked them, they were comfortable. And according to him, someone came in his room last night and stole his shoes. It's like, no, Dad, apparently they got left at the hospital 2 days ago. I was in the hospital for a night. Oh yeah, I fell. Did you know that? It's like, yeah, we got a call. Yeah, I fell. My back hurt. Does it still hurt? A little bit. I fell. Got it, Dad. Limit reached. You have no idea, tiny TV screen. Alright. Based on what I saw, I don't know. He just kind of looks like he's withering away. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to call it here. Health check wise, physically I feel fine. Minus the very obvious anxiety attack kind of feelings. I want to crawl into the corner of a dark room and just cry for maybe a day and a half. You know, it's crossing my mind as a maybe this would be fun. We could try that. Limit reached. Yeah. All right. Make it a great day.